childhood cancer, sickle cell patients, and kidney dialysis, and so on. I pledge to you that my government will protect and deepen all these programs that several millions of you depend on. From my interactions with the people, the three top major concerns of Ghanaians are the cost of living, jobs, and roads. The 2024 Manifesto of the new Patriotic Party prioritizes what you, the Ghanaian people, say are your priorities. The manifesto lays out a clear path of how we plan to solve these major problems, among others. That is why my government will make business and jobs our #1 priority. True to our philosophy, I believe the private sector has the capacity to provide jobs and create wealth for society. My administration will therefore incentivize and empower the private sector to do more in complementing government in the provision and management of many infrastructures and other public services. This can reduce government expenditure, increase efficiency and accountability, create competition, and improve maintenance. Yes, we have built more roads than any other government in the Fourth Republic. But we still have a lot to do. In the last 8 years, we have been deliberate in undertaking many major infrastructural projects that would otherwise have gone to foreign contractors. My policies will encourage the private sector to take greater responsibility in the provision and management of critical infrastructures, including building hostels, housing, and schools for government to rent or lease to own. The demand for roads construction is massive, and this has historically placed a huge burden on the budget. I will make it more attractive for the private sector to also finance construction, management, and maintenance of roads through PPP concessions. Also, I want to change our procurement culture drastically to tackle waste and corruption. My government will move towards leasing rather than outright purchase of goods such as vehicles, printing equipment, and so on. The private sector will have the responsibility for the maintenance of the equipment. With this approach, the budget can save very significant amounts in outright cash expenditure annually from various items across different ministries, departments, and agencies. The policy will energize the private sector to invest in their expansion and create many jobs. Enhancing the role of the private sector, along with fiscal and administrative decentralization, improving our systems and the way your institutions function, will lead to greater efficiency, cutting waste, and ensuring value for money in procurement. The move towards the private sector provision of many public services would create the fiscal space of at least 3% of GDP annually. That is 30 billion Ghana cedis annually. This represents a major paradigm shift a major paradigm shift. Additionally, an efficient system of governance will require even fewer ministers. Therefore, I will have no more than 50 ministers. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to our tax system. To increase government tax revenue, we have to reform and refocus the Ghana Revenue Authority towards broadening the tax base. Estimate people are outside the tax net. Many individuals, businesses find our tax system cumbersome and confusing. We want a tax system that is easy to understand, easy to comply with, and easy to enforce, softer on the taxpayer, and that is not subject to so much discretion. The next MPP government will introduce a very simple, citizen-friendly and business-friendly flat tax system. This will be the first change in our tax system since independence. No government has thought about changing the tax system, but it is the MPP party that is saying it is time for a change in the tax system. A flat tax system, and a flat tax will be of a percentage of income for individuals and businesses with appropriate exemption thresholds set to protect the poor. With the new tax regime, the tax return should be able to be completed in minutes. We will also simplify our complicated corporate tax system and VAT regime. We will reform the VAT tax regime by merging all levies into a single line item levy and treat the merged levy as part of input and output VAT to eliminate the cascading effect in the current regime. To start the new tax system on a clean slate, my government will provide a tax amnesty, that is a complete exemption from the payment of taxes and the waiving of associated interest and penalties up to a certain year to individuals and businesses for failures to file taxes in previous years, so that everyone will start afresh on a clean slate. In return, my government will expect the beneficiaries of this most significant gesture and such savings to be directly used in creating jobs. Our ultimate goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to move Ghana to a lower tax regime with broader coverage to stimulate greater economic activity and generate more revenue to the state. For this to succeed, tax digitalization will be implemented across all aspects of the tax administration. Everyone will be required to file tax, a very simple tax return, electronically through their mobile phone or a computer. There will be no manual or paper filing of taxes anymore. Faceless assessments will provide transparency and accountability. There will be no need under this new tax regime There will be no need for GRA to send officers to sit in shops, to close shops. E-invoicing, as being implemented by GRA, will also be extended. I now come to support for business. Ladies and gentlemen, my government will be for business because, true to our philosophy, I believe the business of government is to empower business to deliver for society. We will therefore support the growth of businesses by the following policies. We will incentivize Ghanaian startups in selected strategic sectors with investment tax credits for the first 3 years of their operations. A flat rate system of duties for all importers will be implemented, bringing predictability and stability on prices of imported goods. We will harmonize port charges to align the charges with the charges in competing regional ports, particularly Togo. Duties in our ports will not be higher than the duties in Lomé, Togo. Ladies and gentlemen, very importantly, we will use the government's purchasing power to stimulate industrial expansion and business growth. This will help create jobs by rolling out a Buy Ghana First policy, under which all goods and services procured by the public sector will first be filled by goods and services produced locally. And we will back this by legislation. We will implement a shift in electricity tariffs to the electricity tariff structure to a regime in which commercial rates are either equal to or lower than residential rates, never higher, to power our industries and businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also going to establish an SME bank to meet the special financing needs of small-scale medium enterprises, which will employ over 80% of Ghanaians. We will also complete the digitalization of land titling and registration to allow owners of landed properties to use their properties as collateral to raise capital for their business growth and expansion. We will create special economic zones in collaboration with the private sector at Ghana's major border towns such as Aflao, Paga, and Elubu to enhance economic activity, increase exports, reduce smuggling, and create jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to the cost of living, reducing the cost of living. Another major priority of my government will be to reduce the cost of living. The world is facing what is commonly referred to as the global cost of living crisis. Even though the inflation has dropped by half this year, prices remain high. I want a Ghana where we can attain food security through the application of technology and irrigation to commercial large-scale farming. We will also promote the use of agricultural lime to reduce the acidity of our soils, enhance soil fertility, and get more yield from the application of fertilizers. Ghana has an abundance of limestone to do this. I will prioritize the construction of the Pualugu Dam by using the private sector financing to crowd in grant financing. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also ensure food security by stabilizing the prices of foods produced locally through financing and guarantees from the Development Bank Ghana and the Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending, also known as GESL. This will mainly involve upscaling the production of staple foods, investing in the preservation of staple foods, meat, poultry, and fish products, and establishing agricultural enclaves which will have irrigation, processing, and storage facilities in each region for crops or grains in which the regions have a comparative advantage. We will reduce the cost of transportation by promoting and supporting electric vehicles for public transportation. By the grace of God, I hope the first 100 buses that we will be introducing for public transportation will hopefully, inshallah, arrive before the end of December this year. We are also going to expand the Gold for Oil program to continue stabilizing the price of fuel. Stabilizing the price of spare parts through the flat rate duties for all importers policy, which will bring predictability and stability on prices of imported goods. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also going to make your driver's license valid for 10 years and extend the renewal period to 5 years. Under a housing for all policy, I will also have a major focus on the provision of public housing in the same manner that Singapore did. We will partner with the private sector to build large housing estates without the government having to borrow or spend. Also, the National Rental Assistance Scheme, which has worked so well with thousands of beneficiaries, will be enhanced to deal with the problem of the demands of rent advance of 2 years or more. We will also ensure a variety of accommodation types to meet different pockets and needs of as follows. In social housing, we'll be including homeless shelters, overnight stay for the vulnerable, and expanded rental assistance schemes for low-income workers. In the area of affordable housing, we'll be including district housing projects through incentives to the private sector real estate industry, as well as expanding the services of the revived State Housing Company and the Tema Development Corporation and the National Home Ownership Fund, and improving housing finance through an expansion of the mortgage lending market, as well as rent-to-own schemes. Ladies and gentlemen, we will use a variety of ways to deliver access to the various types of accommodation. For example, social housing. We will provide public lands within our main cities to private developers, and in order to benefit, make it mandatory for them to set aside between 20 and 30% for low-income social housing units with subsidized rents. Significantly, ladies and gentlemen, improving the availability and affordability of power. We will do this by bringing on board 2,000 megawatts of solar power and incentivizing users by buying access to power they generate from their solar systems and paying with free electricity from the national grid when they need power through net metering. We will continue to make accessing services easier. For example, once you have a Ghana card, all public organizations will not be required to collect your basic data. They will have all that data. They don't need you to fill any forms because all of it is on your Ghana card. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a Ghana where we leverage technology, data, and systems for inclusive economic growth. I want to build a Ghana into a world-class digital economy. I want to build a Ghana where we apply digital technology, STEM, robotics, and artificial intelligence for the transformation of agriculture, healthcare, education, manufacturing, fintech, and public services delivery. As part of this process, it is my goal to eliminate the digital divide by achieving over 90% internet penetration within the first 4 years of office. We have already made very significant progress in this direction by increasing internet penetration from 30% in 2016 on the fourth industrial revolution, as our continent did on the industrial revolution some centuries back. I want to see Ghana build the digital talent we require for the fourth industrial revolution. This will mean providing digital software skills to hundreds of thousands of youth. This, along with other priorities, will create jobs for the youth, including school dropouts. In collaboration with the private sector, we will train at least 1 million youth in IT skills, including software development, to provide job opportunities worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, generally, there will be an enhanced focus private sector, and it will focus on ICT, TVET, and STEM. Ladies and gentlemen, to prepare our children for the fourth industrial revolution, I will enhance the positioning of the educational system and industrial revolution and job creation. My government will make coding and robotics standard in senior high school. Furthermore, to become a digital hub in Africa, Ghana's telecoms industry needs more investment. Cost of data for the ordinary Ghanaian has become too expensive. Goal of enhancing digital inclusion. In addition, we would be working with educational institutions leading and global tech firms to establish a national robotics, engineering, and AI lab for research and training of young Ghanaians locally. We will also be providing venture capital funding and grant support for commercially viable tech projects by Ghanaian startups to drive innovation, foster high-tech entrepreneurship, create jobs, and support growth of Ghanaian high-tech businesses. We will also be providing live lab opportunities to Ghanaian tech startups under a matching program by purposely connecting them to matured large tech firms working on government tech projects to help startups test their ideas in real-world environments and to accelerate their product development cycle. We will also be working with the Bank of Ghana to significantly expand our regulatory sandbox to admit more fintechs as well as regional fintechs. This will position Ghana as a multi-regulatory, multi-jurisdictional sandbox for financial payments interoperability. We will also be establishing a fintech fund with a seed capital of $100 million US. That is about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to attract additional private sector funding and to support Ghanaian startups developing payments and financial services solutions, especially focused on region-wide explorable solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also be implementing a digital residency, that is e-residency, for businesses and individuals in tech firms to register and operate within Ghana. We are also going to be implementing a 5-year digital nomad visa and work permit to attract global tech talents to domicile and work from Ghana, appointing also, ladies and gentlemen, a digital ambassador whose role will be to develop new external markets for Ghanaian digital talents and products and facilitate the export of our digital services. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll also be implementing comprehensive data interoperability across government platforms to enhance transparency and streamline services. We will be pushing further Ghana's leadership, led by my boss, Ghana's leadership role in achieving cross-border mobile money interoperability among other payment systems within the AfCFTA to enhance buying and selling within Africa's 1.4 billion consumer market. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also be creating a marketplace to streamline public sector procurement. As a result of the increase in fiscal space from the tax and expenditure measures we are going to undertake, we will be in a position to enhance the digital economy by abolishing the e-levy as well as taxes on mobile phones. We are also going to ensure in this digital economy that we are building that the Ghana card will not be required, that for any person who holds a Ghana card, you will not be required to fill a form to get a passport. You will just be required to pay your fee because all the information is on the Ghana card. Ladies and gentlemen, working with industry players, we intend to make Ghana a world-class digital economy and a digital hub of Africa. I now come to our natural resources. Ladies and gentlemen, as president, The next MPP government will usher Ghana into a golden age for the maximization of the benefits of our natural resources like gold, lithium, bauxite, and so on. The key to doing this is value addition and Ghanaian ownership. As we have started with lithium, we need a new paradigm in the natural resource contracts that sees more of the benefit accruing to Ghana. Some of the key policies that we will implement to maximize our benefits from our natural resources include formalizing and regularizing and regulating environmentally sustainable small-scale mining. Our goal would be to help grow the small-scale mining companies into large-scale mining companies with the capacity to building and assisting them to access financing to acquire equipment. In line with this, we will license all miners doing responsible mining. District mining committees, including our chiefs, will provide initial temporary licenses to the miners. Every Ghanaian in small-scale mining will register under the Ghana Small-Scale Miners Association with their Ghana card. We will, in collaboration with the large mining companies, convert abandoned shafts into community mining schemes. We will also open new community mining schemes, and district mining communities would be responsible for reclamation and replanting. We will also set up state-of-the-art common user gold processing units in mining districts in collaboration with the private sector. We will also conduct an audit of all concessions with various licenses and new applications. This will allow government to know licenses that have expired and non-compliance with the existing license conditions, non-compliance. My government will establish, in collaboration with the private sector, a minerals development bank to support the mining industry. My government will also reduce the minerals export tax to 1% to discourage smuggling and encourage more production. We will establish, through the private sector, a London Bullion Market Association certified gold refinery in Ghana within the next 4 years. Following the establishment of this refinery, all the responsibly mined gold in Ghana produced by the small-scale sector will be sold either to the central bank, PMMC, or MIF. We will make available proven reserves data from the Geological Survey Authority to small-scale miners to help deal with the associated problem of trial and error digging for gold, which destroys our environment. Once the data is available, the small-scale miners will know exactly where the gold is, and so they don't have to do trial and error. They'll go directly to where the gold is, and the environment will not be destroyed. We will also adequately resource the Geological Survey Authority to undertake the mapping exercise. We will also scale up the use of mercury-free gold catcher machine technology, which is less damaging to our environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to an important subject matter of stabilizing our currency. Ladies and gentlemen, recognizing the need to transform the structures of the Ghanaian economy from merely being an exporter of raw materials, an importer of finished products, to producing what we consume and adding value to our raw materials and farm produce. The Akufo-Addo-led government set out in 2017 to find solutions by introducing transformational policies such as one district, one factory. While industrialization remains the long-term solution to macroeconomic stability and shared prosperity for Ghanaians, the vulnerabilities in the structure of the Ghanaian economy remain and were heavily exposed by the global crisis of 2020 to 2022. The crisis hit us really hard, but you may wonder why, unlike previous times when the city faced severe pressure, this time around we have never experienced queues at our fuel stations or dumso as we did in 2015. Let me tell you a short story about that. I approached my boss when we had this crisis, as I saw our foreign exchange reserves continually dwindling. I approached my boss and suggested a novel way as a solution to the shortage of foreign exchange. I proposed that we leverage on gold to produce directly in exchange for the essential goods we import. He gave me the go-ahead to pilot the one critical import, petroleum products, the shortage of which would have completely derailed our economy. And that is what resulted in gold for oil. I am happy to say that the two policies that have helped rescue the economy from catastrophe in the recent crisis were the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, which I proposed, and the gold for oil program. The pilot, these two policies, the pilot has worked for a number of companies and has worked for the countries. Some companies which wanted to repatriate dividends and couldn't do so because of foreign exchange constraints have suddenly been able to do so because of the gold purchase program. We have thus found a solution in the midst of this crisis, and bringing together the pilot of this gold for oil and gold purchase programs. We have thus, through this crisis, we have suddenly found a solution to the profit repatriation problem that many businesses had without destabilizing our local currency. This also brings major comfort to foreign investors operating in our countries. I believe from the success of the pilot scheme, we can confidently say that we have found a solution to the age-old foreign exchange problem that successive governments have struggled to contain, and which invariably led to inflation and other macroeconomic challenges. My government will completely institutionalize what I will call the Gold for Forex program, even as we intensify efforts to transform the structure of the Ghanaian economy. Simply put, the domestic gold purchase program is a policy which allows the Bank of Ghana to boost our foreign exchange reserves by buying locally produced gold with cedis. Gold purchases from this program alone amounted to $5 billion in the last couple of years. With Ghana's unexplored gold reserves estimated at 5 billion ounces, with a market value of 10 trillion US dollars, my government will ramp up the gold purchase program to cover all major forex demands We will cover all major forex demands with the gold purchase program. Put simply, if, for example, a company wants dollars, we will take their cedis and we will buy gold and we will give them their foreign currency. The gold purchase program will therefore provide the anchor that our local currency has always lacked. Ladies and gentlemen, going forward, I want to build with your support, I want to build a credit system for Ghana. In the advanced economies, workers are able to easily access credit to purchase items such as televisions, cars, mobile phones, and houses. They are able to do so because the credit system over there works, and it is supported by individualized credit scoring by the credit rating agencies. In the advanced countries, people are able to obtain mobile phones for free under a contract arrangement with the telephone companies. But people with the impossibility mindset don't understand that these things are possible. In Ghana, such a credit system is yet to develop, and therefore life is harder for our workers. It is our goal to make it easier and cheaper to access credit by leveraging our data and our systems, such as the Ghana card, the Ghana Post GPS, mobile money interoperability, Momo accounts, DVLA, GRA data, bank accounts, and so on, to build an efficient credit system and a mortgage market in Ghana underpinned by an individualized credit scoring system and the digitalization of land titling and transfer. We look forward to starting individualized credit scoring in Ghana this year in 2024. And this will make it easier for Ghanaians to access credit at lower interest rates. My promise to you is that soon you in Ghana will no longer have to save before you are buying what you need. You can buy it on credit and pay small, 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 like they do in the advanced countries. In the area of public infrastructure, we will, to reiterate, partner the private sector to finance, build, and rent or lease to own to government public infrastructure, including schools, housing, water, and roads, as well as equipment. We will revive and resource, including modern equipment and state-of-the-art workshops, the Public Works Department, PWD, to be the primary government agency responsible for maintenance of public infrastructure across the country. We will fully implement and expand the District Road Improvement Program, under which the local governments have been supplied with equipment to help maintain roads in their districts. This District Road Improvement Project was the brainchild of the MPP government and not anybody else. We have brought it, and nobody should try to claim credit for it. Through partnerships with the private sector investors, we'll develop the railway network across the country based on the master plan with strategic focus on the western and eastern lines in the medium term. These two lines are of high economic importance and will be prioritized for development and completion under my government by the grace of God. Eastern and western railway lines. We will facilitate the establishment by the private sector of a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility at the Tamale Airport to develop into an aviation cargo, horticultural cargo, and logistics hub. We will also commence the development of the much talked about by us in our last manifesto, the development of the Cape Coast Airport, for which funding has been secured under the Korean $2 billion facility, which will serve both the central and the western regions. In collaboration with the private sector, we will also build an airport in the Upper East region. We will achieve, through our investment, universal access to electricity in our first term of a Bawumia government. And we will complete all the Agenda 111 hospitals to ensure every district gets a district hospital and all the regions get new regional hospitals. As a result, we will recruit more doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals with improved conditions of service, and will bring healthcare services to your doorstep by completing the digitalization of public healthcare institutions under the e-health project. Under the e-health project, we have digitalized all the patient records in all teaching hospitals, all the regional hospitals, and all the district hospitals. So today, if you are referred from Wa to Kolebu, you don't need to bring a folder. You just bring your ID number, the doctor in Kolebu will enter your ID number, and all your records will be there for the doctor to see. We expect that by next year, we'll cover the remaining health centers and CHIPS compounds so that we have a comprehensive database. We will also scale up. Once we have done this, we are going to be scaling up telemedicine services and establishing, ladies and gentlemen, we are also going to be establishing 2 additional sites in addition to the existing 6 sites of drone delivery centers at Funsi in the Upper West region and at Kintampo. So we are establishing 2 more drone sites. And the establishment of these 2 sites will give us 100% coverage for drone delivery across all of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, we have established the National Electronic Pharmacy Platform. We have put together 2,456 pharmacies on one platform, which is working. So today, if your doctor prescribes you a medicine, you can go to the pharmacy platform, put in your medicational requirements. The platform will tell you which pharmacy near you has the medicine and what the prices are. We will make sure this platform is interoperable with all private and public facilities. We will also offer incentives to healthcare workers to be able to buy 1 vehicle each with an engine capacity of up to 1,800 cc. And we will also ensure compliance with the existing deprived area incentive package for health workers. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of affirmative action for women and girls, we will implement in full the Affirmative Action Act we recently passed. We will establish a Women's Trade Empowerment Fund, WOTEF, to support women-owned businesses. We will ensure gender parity in the award of government scholarships. And we will further improve the maternal health care program. We will pursue a Women in Diplomacy program for Ghanaian women to take more leadership roles in international organizations. And we will ensure that existing sexual harassment laws are strictly enforced. We'll also be enabling mothers to seamlessly enter the workforce by prioritizing, in partnership with the private sector, the establishment of daycare centers near workplaces, including marketplaces. We will enforce existing regulations on maternity leave governance as well. In the area of education, ladies and gentlemen, my government will increase the stock of student accommodation in our universities and other public tertiary institutions to address the housing deficit on our campuses and make them affordable. We will introduce a free tertiary scholarship for persons with disability to remove the financial barriers to pursuing their educational goals. On scholarships, we will integrate the scholarship databases across all the public sector institutions managing such schemes to ensure full visibility and transparency. We will expand eligibility for the student loan scheme to include all post-secondary students, including certificate and diploma programs. We will prioritize and direct a significant proportion of national scholarship schemes towards training and skills development in STEM as well as other needed skills in Ghana. We will implement in full the centralized application processing service, CAPS, for tertiary institutions. Under this, you will apply once and pay once. As I already said, we will establish a national open university. And for those who, after completion of their tertiary education, have secured jobs, they would be exempted from national service. They can go and start work immediately. We will protect and enhance free SHS and free TVET, which is truly transforming lives and changing life outcomes for millions of people. Since we started the free SHS and free TVET, enrollment has increased by 83%. We are building the foundation for a well-educated, prosperous society. With free SHS and TVET, we have achieved gender parity. More girls are getting secondary education, and the impact will be positive for society. We, as a result, will recruit more teachers at all levels with improved conditions of service. We will also continue to develop additional infrastructure for our education to meet the increased numbers. We will offer incentives also for teachers to buy one vehicle each with an engine capacity up to 1,800 cc. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to good governance. In the area of good governance, we will, and I reiterate, we will reinstate the process of getting MMDCs to bring an end to the automatic increase in the size of Parliament. We will institute an electoral area share of the common fund for assembly members to facilitate development at the electoral area levels. And we will engage Parliament and other stakeholders, including political parties, to review the 1992 Constitution to achieve effective national development. We will provide value-based leadership predicated on values such as selflessness, excellence, ethics, justice, integrity, transparency, diligence, and accountability. In pursuit of values-based leadership and responsible citizenship, will formalize the relationship between the state, chiefs, faith-based organizations, and civil society organizations, and redefine and elevate their place and role in the national governance structure. We will formally designate faith-based organizations as development partners who are entitled to similar incentives. We will review Section 63 of the Chieftaincy Act to empower chiefs to strengthen local governance. And we will pay living allowances to paramount chiefs, divisional chiefs, and queen mothers. To encourage the registration of all lands and to avoid land disputes, all stool lands will be registered without an initial fee payment. Payment will only be made of the registration fee when the land is sold, and then we will get our fee. But initially, all chiefs can go ahead and register stool lands without paying a fee. Ladies and gentlemen, my government will also protect Ghanaian cultural and family values. Dealing with corruption is my next area of focus. Ladies and gentlemen, all governments have struggled with the canker of corruption in our society. People have been killed for corruption, and people have been jailed for corruption, but yet it persists. My view is that corruption operates in darkness, and we need to deal with it through openness and transparency, and through digitalization. Our approach so far has been to deal with corruption after it occurs. My approach to deal with corruption before it occurs. Digitalization is the vehicle. The Ghana card has enabled us basically to eliminate ghost workers from the Controller and Accountant General payroll, also from the SNIT payroll and the National Service payroll. Using the Ghana card and the elimination of ghost workers in SNIT and the National Service Scheme, we have saved 800 million Ghana cedis in just these two institutions. One of the most potent weapons against corruption is transparency. Many corrupt activities are cash-based. Apart from the obvious benefits of moving in the direction of a cashless society, the literature does indicate that more electronic payments are used in transactions as opposed to cash. The more that is done, the more there is traceability, and therefore the less corruption. I would like to bring Ghana close to a cashless economy in the shortest possible time. So far, the Bank of Ghana has made a lot of progress in this direction by putting in place a lot of payment systems and infrastructure. These include mobile money interoperability, merchant interoperability, the universal QR code payment system, the GH-Link debit card, eSwitch, Ghana Pay. We have put in place the necessary infrastructure to go cashless as a country. Recently, the Bank of Ghana has completed a pilot of the digital version of the Ghana cedi in Seshwiwi also. This is known as a central bank digital currency, or the e-cedi. The e-cedi is designed to work online and offline and will be launched by the Bank of Ghana in due course. The e-cedi will be the ultimate weapon in our fight against corruption because it will provide transparency, reduce the risk of fraud, robbery, tax avoidance, and money laundering, since it will be easy to track the movement of money and identify suspicious activity. The ECD will quicken the pace of Ghana's move towards a cashless or a near cashless society. We will also, ladies and gentlemen, implement blockchain technology and smart contracts for secure data exchange and transparent government services. Employing a distributed ledger technology improves transparency and efficiency. This will make all government transactions permanently traceable and not subject to alteration. I want Ghana to be the first country in Africa and one of the few in the whole world to become an all-government blockchain government. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of care for the elderly, we will pass the An-Aging Act for the care and protection of the elderly. We will promote geriatric care training programs to address the growing need for elder care. We'll implement policies on the establishment of home care, nursing homes, and rehabilitation services, including assisted living and old age community living. We will create elder-specific social assistance schemes to cover those not currently covered by existing programs such as LEAP. In the area of the environment, ladies and gentlemen, we will enhance the protection of our forests and biodiversity hotspots. We will restore our forests through a reforestation program by targeting 30,000 hectares of degraded areas for reforestation and plantation development annually, establishing 1,000 hectares of bamboo and rattan plantations annually for watershed protection and plantation development. We are also going to protect and preserve our water resources by vigorously protecting both surface and underground sources, by ensuring that the provisions of the water use regulations are adhered to. We'll protect transborder water sources, notably the Volta River, and we effectively manage all water basins in Ghana. With our mining policy, we believe that we are going to be able to deal with galamsey, and that will help us protect the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of sports, the creative arts and tourism, we will use tax incentives, including a flat tax, to incentivize private sector investments in sports, tourism, and the creative arts. We'll implement an e-visa policy for all international visitors to Ghana to make visa acquisition fast and convenient for visitors. We will roll out a visa-free policy for all African nationals and all Caribbean nationals visiting Ghana. We will also establish a travel protocol in partnership. We will also, in partnership with the private sector, establish a streaming and digital management platform for Ghanaian content developers in the creative arts. We'll also establish a travel protocol service for the creative community to enable artists, performers, and other creatives honor international performances and shows. We will establish a sports development fund to develop sports infrastructure and talent development and grassroots sports programs, including the revival of Colts football and leagues across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, we will establish a Ghana School Sports Secretariat, which will be an agency under the ministry responsible for sports, in collaboration with other stakeholders such as the GES and sports federations. My government will seek school-level collaboration with international sports bodies like the NBA and the NFL, to make Ghana a hub for these emerging sports in Africa, to create more opportunities for young people. We have already tried this with the NFL, the governing body for American football. We will, ladies and gentlemen, also upgrade the surfaces of our football pitches to meet the highest international standards. And so we will be seeing an upgrading of the stadia in Kumasi, Accra, Cape Coast, Tamale, and Esipong to make sure that they meet the highest international standards. My government will also implement an effective maintenance module for our sports facilities. We will continue the construction of astroturfs for every constituency to boost the development of our talents, including juvenile football. We have increased astroturfs from 3 that we inherited to over 150 in 2024. We are going to start an operation of our athletes and their readiness for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, USA, including where necessary, targeting specific sports for medals. We will support the revival of the Premier League and clubs to improve commercial viability and create related jobs by directing policy through the National Lotteries Authority and the Gaming Commission to establish and fund a sports employment module to assist premier clubs fund operational expenses, including player remuneration. And also we will provide a bus to each Premier League club. Swiftly respond to any external hostilities and threats posed by terrorists in the sub-region. We will continue equipping Ghana's security services to build their capability in protecting the nation. And we will also focus on equipping the prison service as well as the fire service. We will deepen the cooperation of our neighboring states and the international community in the fight against violent extremism. We will recruit and deploy 20,000 more security personnel to enhance the visibility and strengthen the human resources of our security services. To make our neighborhoods safe, we are going to roll out 50,000 more anti-crime cameras, the CCTVs. And so far, we have rolled out about 11,000 CCTVs, but many districts and regions, many district capitals and regional capitals are not fully covered. So we ask national security to undertake an exercise to tell us what is needed so that we can see what is happening in every public street, in every regional capital and every district capital, every day and every night. They came back and told us they needed 50,000 cameras, CCTVs, for us to be able to accomplish that directive. And my government will provide the 50,000 CCTV cameras so that we have complete visibility in all our regional capitals and all our district capitals to basically make sure that if you commit a crime, we are going to catch you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll also roll out more body cameras for the police and other logistics. I believe that we can find, ladies and gentlemen, a broad, find broad contours of a national development plan for which we can find consensus in areas such as education, healthcare, industrialization, and so on. I will support such a consensus national development plan. Specifically, I propose that we can amend Article 87 of the 1992 Constitution, as well as the NDPC Act, Act 479, to mandate political manifestos, political party manifestos, and consequently the economic and social policies of governments, as well as budgets, to be aligned to agreed broad contours in specific centers. The current constitution was designed for political stability, and it has achieved that. We need to amend it with the help of Parliament to align it more to national development. In that context, we are committed to the process to amend the 1992 Constitution through public consultation, with key emphasis on the election of MMDCs to deepen democratic decentralization, ex gratia, and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a nation that cares for and invests in the vulnerable, like persons with disabilities, the aged, the street kids, the lepers, cerebral palsy patients, and so on. In cooperation with faith-based institutions and the private sector, my government will also focus on special needs. To start with, we will recruit 1,000 special needs teachers and retrain teachers on how to work with special needs students. We will also train more speech and language therapists and occupational and behavioral therapists. We will also set a quota for the recruitment of persons with disabilities in all government recruitment, and also provide incentives for the private sector to recruit persons with disabilities. Now to the youth. To the youth of our country, kindly lend me your ears. I have been to you, and I have listened to your concerns and soaked your aspirations. I want to assure you that I am for you. Our nation is at a crossroads. We are preparing to elect a new president in December 2024, and I believe I will serve you better as your next leader. I am a problem-solving leader. In the last 7 years, I have, with the blessings of President Nana Akufo-Addo, led and championed initiatives to address some of the fundamental problems in the public service delivery area. I possess the integrity you require in your next president. I believe that the Almighty has blessed me with a fortitude of character to implementation of bold solutions for our future. My track record of public service and in international development is public knowledge. My entire career, from academia through to the Bank of Ghana, the African Development Bank, and my current role as on competence, diligence, and efficient and effective management skills that have contributed to my ability to see projects through to completion. I am determined to make your future my business if you give me the mandate to serve you. My proven ability to manage and deliver results professionally and transparently sets me apart from the rest in the race. As an experienced professional with unblemished national and international credentials, I am ready to bring that expertise to bear on national governance with the sole motivation to transform. The MPP delegates resoundingly gave me the mandate to lead the party based on my performance and the delivery of major signature projects and programs and vision. Given these and my verifiable personal integrity, I humbly ask you, ladies and gentlemen, that you hand the steer to me. That you hand the steer to me to usher in a new government, a new management style that will give us additional results, a paradigm shift in how we manage our resources, and let the benefits of nationhood reach out to every member of society. With all humility, I declare that I am a visionary leader who can generate new ideas to confront problems. I have the exciting ideas for the 21st century nation. We have done well in creating jobs in the last 7 years. 2.3 million jobs, the most of any government in the Fourth Republic. However, unemployment is still a major issue amongst us. I make a firm commitment to sustain and expand the rebounding economy to address the problem of unemployment. To the Gen Zs, I am well plugged into the new world you belong, and I know the keys to press to unlock your potentials within. Your plug to creating opportunities and decent paying jobs. I shall offer you a problem-solving leadership built on my values of integrity, compassion, and sincerity. To this end, I have presented for your consideration our manifesto for 2024. The manifesto is giving. It is giving hope. It is giving ideas. It is giving jobs. It offers the opportunity to create a new generation of entrepreneurs through my business support initiatives. It strives to make Ghana a fully digitalized nation in which you are able to access public services with ease. It incentivizes the private sector to expand and deliver good jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that as Vice President, the policies I have championed or initiated have impacted or will impact the lives of virtually every Ghanaian. I have, with the full blessings and support of my boss, promised and did many groundbreaking policies that are happening for the first time in our history. These include championing the Ghana Card, Agenda 111, e-pharmacy, Ghana.gov, one constituency, one ambulance, Zongo Development Fund, paperless ports, motor insurance, database, renewal of NHIS on your mobile phone, Ghana Card number as your TIN number, SNID number, NHIS number, zip line, delivery for drones, gold for oil, gold purchase program, and so on, and so on, and so on. Through, ladies and gentlemen, through the successful implementation of these policies, I have proven to be a problem solver and a promise keeper. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the choice Ghanaians face in 2024 fundamentally is a choice between a brighter future and a bleak past. As I noted in my presentation at UPSA in February, we have to ask ourselves a number of questions in making that choice. If you want someone you can trust to come up with innovative and impactful ideas to transform Ghana, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you want someone with personal integrity who can be trusted to fight corruption, then your choice is Dr. Bawumia. And if the person you have in mind is someone you can trust to work tirelessly and selflessly for Ghana, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you want a leader with a proven record who you can trust to create jobs for the youth, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for the man who has the vision and the commitment to prepare Ghana for the fourth industrial revolution, the digital revolution, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for the man who is more committed to protecting and using the natural resources for the benefit of Ghanaians, then the answer is Dr. Bawumia. Who will be more accountable to Ghanaians? A one-term president like my opponent, or a person who can look to a long-term development of Ghana, because he will return to you after 4 years to render an account for the long term? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who can you trust? Who can you trust to protect free senior high school at a community? Who can you trust? Who can you trust to provide bold solutions to improve our economy, create jobs, and improve social protection? It is Dr. Bawumia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am determined to make a difference, a positive difference. I am determined to use the experience I have earned over the last 7 to 8 years, from the challenges and the priorities we have tackled, from the successes we have chalked, to the hard work to succeed with you on the priorities that I have laid before you today. I will work for you, with honesty and integrity, with wisdom and decisiveness. I have clarity of mind as to what I want to do from day one as president. I will not ask you for a honeymoon to cool off and think about what to do with the responsibility you give me. I am prepared and ready to serve. You know what I stand for. You know my vision. I believe in the ingenuity of the Ghanaian. Together we can succeed in building a progressive society of possibilities, enterprise, compassion, open opportunities, and shared prosperity for every Ghanaian, born rich or poor, born in the north or the south, born Christian or Muslim, born a girl or a leper or a boy, a leper or a disabled person. I have never been president of Ghana before. I am presenting myself to you for the first time to ask for your precious vote to serve you as your president and to continue the development agenda of the MPP. When you make me president, inshallah, I will implement my own vision that I have outlined. In all humility, I will ask you to give me the opportunity to become one of the most impactful presidents in Ghana's history. In conclusion, dear Ghanaians, what I have presented today are just highlights of our manifesto. There are many more details and policies that are found in the full version. I implore you and entreat you all to read the full manifesto. This manifesto we are launching today is a manifesto of hope, a manifesto anchored on bold solutions to usher in the golden age of good governance and accountability, and a manifesto of possibilities focusing on quantum leaps in jobs and prosperity. Our positive mindset is built on a strong track record of innovations and achievements. Unlike our friends who regard every life-changing policy proposal as impossible, we in the MPP see possibilities. We innovate, deliver, and prosper. I mean to deliver for you and your family, for your future, for your business. Indeed, Bawumia means business. I thank you for your support, your prayers, and with God's guidance, we can win together. It is possible. Thank you for your attention. God bless you, and God bless our homeland as we launch our manifesto. We launch our manifesto. We launch our manifesto to the glory of God.
Let's sit down.
Bawumia vote no. Ya fan cheche. Bawumia vote no. Bawumia vote no.
Fan cheche.
Bawumia vote no. Please, let's be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's be seated. Please, let's be seated. Kindly take your seats. Let's clear the front and please be seated. Please be seated. Kindly let all be seated. Let's all be seated, please.
Please be seated. We have almost come to the end of the program. Please be seated.
Please, His Excellency
the President of the Republic will address this event. All those at the front, make your way to your original seats so we can continue the program. Thank you. Security, please help us so we could get ready to listen to the Father for the Nation. Thank you.
Advocacy for human rights and contribution to Ghana's democratic journey, defines a fine, remarkable career marked by resilience, dedication, and commitment to the well-being of every citizen of Ghana. Welcome, Your Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Hello, hello. Is it working properly? Are you sure? Indeed, Bawumia means business. Mr. Vice President, Second Lady, our incoming Vice, National Chairman, Chief of Staff, General Secretary, Majority Leader, Chairman of the Council of Elders, and all the great and good of the MPP gathered here. My task is a very simple one. You've heard about what we have tried to do these last 7.5 years. I don't intend to go over that. You've also heard about the exciting things that we're going to do in the next 8 years. I don't intend to talk about that. What I want to do is to give testimony and make an appeal to the Ghanaian people through you why they should give the leadership of this country to Mahamudu Bawumia and Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Because at the end of the day, plans, policies, programs, if there's no character, if there's no strength, if there's no determination of will in the part of the people involved, they just remain plans and programs. I don't think there's anybody in this country better placed to testify about the capacity of our presidential ticket than me, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I am the best. I am the best placed person to give the testimony, and clearly also the best place to appeal to the people of Ghana to give the stewardship of this country for the next 8 years to Dr. Bawumia and his running mate, Napoli. 16 years ago, that Mahamudu Bawumia and I first met and decided to join our lives. I can say that there's not one day, whatever commitments he has made before you and before the people of Ghana, I can put my hand on my heart and say he will deliver on each one of those commitments. People have had problems with their vice presidents in the Fourth Republic. We won't go over that. I, Nanado, I've never had any problem with my vice president. I've gone to bed every night secure in my knowledge that my vice president stands firmly with and behind me in everything that I've tried to do in these last 7.5 years. He has been the picture, the model of loyalty itself. And all I can say to his vice is that even if he has half of the loyalty that Mahamudu Bawumia has shown to me, he is going to be an excellent vice president. This is a man who has respect for the people of Ghana. This is not a man who is going to tell the Ghanaian people that you have short memories. That is not the kind of man we have here. That is not the type of man we have here. He's a man who has respect for the people of Ghana. This is not somebody who's going to say to the Ghanaian people when his policies have failed that I am not a magician. That is not the language of Mahamudu Bawumia. That is not the sort of person that he is. We have here a man who is respectful and who will work night and day to make sure that our country continues on the upward trajectory. You have, in the business that we have chosen, some who blow with the wind. They say one thing today and they'll say another thing tomorrow because they believe that we have short memories. We don't remember their record. We remember their record. The record of failure. There have been 5 presidents in Ghana. One unfortunately died in harness. But the other 4 that are left, and I'm saying this because I know there are going to be a lot of first-time voters, people who perhaps don't remember our recent history very well. But 3 of these 4 presidents, all of them, because of their record, the Ghanaian people renewed their mandate. Jerry John Rawlings got a second term. John Ajekum Kufuor got a second term. Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo got a second term. There is only one whose record did not merit a second term. And you and I know who I am talking about. Is a man who wants to come back to save his image because he believes that Ghanaians have forgotten his record. Mr. Candidate, your record has not been forgotten. We will not allow that record to be forgotten. So, I don't have any hesitation in saying to you and saying to the people of Ghana that the leadership that Mahamudu Bawumia is going to provide for us is exactly the leadership we need to take us to the next step of our development. If indeed the biggest strategic interest of the 21st century is the development of the digital economy and the unfolding of the fourth industrial revolution, there is only one man in Ghana today that can take us through that fourth industrial revolution. Mahamudu Bawumia is his name. He's going to be ably supported by a young man. Are you still a young man? By a young man who has always impressed me. In 2012, he was the director of my election campaign. When, by the grace of God and the generosity of the Ghanaian people, I was honored and privileged with the office of President of the Republic. The most important flagship program of my government at its outset was the implementation of the free senior high school policy. I had no doubt in my mind that he was the one person who could implement that policy to success. And that is why I confined him to this job. Everybody in Ghana can testify to the success with which he implemented the free senior policy. We're talking about these two people. We're talking about achievers, people who achieve things in their lives. Our presidential candidate and incoming president was on his way to becoming governor of the Bank of Ghana, having had a brilliant career as a central banker until he met me, and I diverted him. But I think at the end of the day, he will agree today that the diversion has been worth his while. Matthew Poku Prempeh is an achiever. Apart from implementing the free senior high school policy, he has been for the last 3.5 years our energy minister. Not only has he kept the lights on, but he has helped us through some very difficult programs of restructuring our energy debt and putting our energy sector on a much sounder footing than we came to meet it in 2017. These are the two people who are asking for the mandate of the Ghanaian people. I have no hesitation, as the outgoing president is saying that they will be worthy successors to the office of president and vice president. So I want all of you here, the leadership of our party, from top to bottom, from the polling station to the national leadership, from all members of the campaign committees, from the electoral area, through the constituency, through the regions, to the national level, to make an extra effort to go out and sell this golden ticket to every nook and cranny of our country, to make sure that when the results are declared, hopefully on the 8th of December, we will hear the sweet news. The 6th president of the Fourth Republic, Mahamudu Bawumia, has won a clear victory. And as I told you, when I hear that noise and I go to Black Star Square on the 7th of January, then I'm off to Chibi, and I'm expecting to see some of you there in my retirement. Thank you, and may God bless you all and bless the MPP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Your legacy lives on forever. You will be remembered from generations to generations. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we bring the launch of the 2024 Manifesto of the new Patriotic Party to a successful end. And we call on all of you to have copies of the manifesto, both soft and hard. Go through it, read it, spread the word. Every room, every house, every community, every corner. And tell your neighbor that whatever it is that we aspire as Ghanaians, it is possible with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in the driving seat. At this juncture, we will call on Madam Abina Asante to give us the closing prayer. Madam Abina Asante, please give us the closing prayer quickly, and let's dedicate our travels back into the hands of God.
Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for a wonderful program. Father, we are grateful for all that we've done here. And we pray committing the rest of our campaign and the rest of the months ahead into your hands. Father, we ask that may you give us the wisdom to undertake all the tasks that we need to, that will give us victory. On 7th December 2024, and see Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia be sworn in as President of the Republic of Ghana on 7th January 2025. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let all be seated. His Excellency the President, His Excellency the Vice President will leave before we all start. Please let all be seated. Thank you all for joining us today. We thank all MMDCEs for traveling across the country from the district to join us. We thank our brothers and sisters from the branches in the diaspora. We thank our CEOs. Thank you to our parliamentary candidates and our members of parliament. Thank you to our ministers and deputy ministers of state.
Please sit and wait for copies of the manifesto. Please wait for printed copies of the manifesto. We also have digital copies going on. Thank you.
So the abridged copies of the manifesto will be made available both in hard copy and in soft copy. Subsequently, the detailed manifesto will also be available online and in hard copies. Grab a copy, take time to digest it, and jump onto the train. We pray for God's guidance as we all journey back to our various constituencies and districts. Thank you very much and good night to us all.
Please don't rush. There's a lot of copies.
My family is free because of Rome Villa Estate. Yes, this estate is responsible for selling affordable litigation-free lands that have electricity, water, and accessible roads. I am so happy.
Manifesto.